Good day, everyone. For this discussion, we will be discussing about air as an abiotic component of our ecosystem. To start with, let's examine the composition of our air. So basically, our air is composed of 78% nitrogen or N2 and 21% oxygen or O2 and other variable gases, with the majority of which is actually argon, which is around 0.96%. And carbon dioxide, which is 0.04%. So based on the table, these are the following gases that we can actually see in our atmosphere. Again, nitrogen is 78.08%, oxygen is 20.95%, water or gas as a gas is 0 to 4%, variable. Argon is 0.93%, carbon dioxide is 0.0360%, and so on and so forth. So air is actually a mixture of different gases, including nitrogen, oxygen, carbon dioxide, water vapor, and there are other gases that are useful but come in very small quantities. So if you could remember your general chemistry when talk about air, it's actually a homogeneous mixture, meaning it is a solution of different gases. Nitrogen, oxygen, water, vapor, carbon dioxide, methane, nitrous oxide, and ozone are extremely important to the health of the Earth's biosphere. Nitrogen and oxygen are the main components of the atmosphere by volume, and it makes up 99% of dry atmosphere. Always remember, the Earth's atmosphere is composed of 78% nitrogen and 21% oxygen. Nitrogen is removed from the atmosphere and deposited on the Earth's surface mainly by a specialized nitrogen-fixing bacteria and by way of lightning through precipitation. Addition of nitrogen to the Earth's surface soils and various water bodies supply nutrition for plant growth, and nitrogen returns to the atmosphere primarily through biomass combustion and denitrification. So this is like a cycle in our pond, the nitrogen cycle in a pond ecosystem. So we have here ammonia converted by bacteria to nitrite, and then we have here the action of the nitrifying bacteria to decompose this one into nitrogen gas. And this nitrogen gas will be absorbed by plants and algae and will produce nitrates and animals as fish waste. And the cycle continues. So to dig into deeper detail on the nitrogen cycle, here is a diagram. So we can see here different terminologies for nitrogen cycle. So one very important process wherein nitrogen is being converted back to the ground is through the process of lightning. So we can see here a cycle. So to begin with, let's have our ammonia here. This is our ammonia. We have nitrification process to convert it into nitrogen trioxide with an action of the nitrifying bacteria. Next, this NO3 will be NO2, will be further decomposed into NO3 through nitrification process, and the nitrifying bacteria will convert it back to the atmosphere as nitrogen through the nitrification. And we have here nitrogen fixation, wherein this nitrogen is being brought back to the ground or to the soil. And these nitrogen fixing bacteria will make it into a useful substance for the plant, such as your ammonia as fertilizer. And the cycle continues. Next gas would be oxygen, exchanged between the atmosphere and life through the processes of photosynthesis and respiration. Talk about photosynthesis, it produces oxygen as byproduct when carbon dioxide and water are chemically converted into glucose with the help of sunlight. And on the other way around, its equivalent or opposite process, which is respiration, is a process of combining your oxygen with glucose to chemically release energy for metabolism, and the byproducts would be water and carbon dioxide. So here is a diagram for oxygen cycle. So we can see here the exchange of gases, the atmosphere, containing oxygen will be inhaled by animals, including us humans, for respiration process, and we exhale carbon dioxide. And this carbon dioxide will be utilized by the plants through photosynthesis and process this one to produce oxygen as the byproduct because its main product is actually glucose or the carbohydrate, and the cycle continues. So we talk about oxygen cycle, or other call this one as oxygen carbon dioxide cycle. When we produce oxygen, that is the process of photosynthesis. And once this oxygen is being utilized by animals, the process is respiration, wherein we produce carbon dioxide, which in return will be taken in by our plants. So that is your oxygen carbon dioxide cycle. These are the functions of water vapor. So water vapor is used to redistribute heat energy on the earth through latent heat energy exchange. Condensation of water vapor, precipitation that falls to the earth's surface, providing needed fresh water for plants and animals, and help warm the earth's atmosphere through the greenhouse effect. So take note, when I talk about water vapor, it is also classified as a greenhouse gas. They could also add up to the heat in our surroundings. The next gas would be carbon dioxide. This is increased by over 35% in the last 300 years. Human-caused increase in its concentration has strengthened the greenhouse effect and has contributed to global warming over the last 100 years. So if you could trace back our history through the industrial revolution, then we now utilize coal as our source of fuel, and since that particular coal is actually rich in carbon, once we burn it, we produce carbon dioxide, and thus increasing greenhouse gases, and long-term effect would be global warming. The next greenhouse gas would be our methane. Methane is a very strong greenhouse gas. Since 1750, methane concentration in the atmosphere have increased by more than 150%. But about methane, the formula for it is CH4. One atom of carbon and four atoms of hydrogen. This is actually a fuel also. So primary sources for the additional methane added to the atmosphere are the following: rice cultivation, agriculture, domestic grazing animals, termites, landfills, coal mining, and last would be oil and gas extraction. These are also the main sources of methane emissions. So if you can see in this particular diagram, livestock and agriculture is actually one of its biggest contributor, followed by fossil fuels, wetlands, landfills, of course. When we decompose our waste, it will produce methane. Other natural emissions, and of course, burning biomass will also produce methane. The next gas would be nitrous oxide. It is increasing at a rate of 0.2 to 0.3 per year. So global warming facts about nitrous oxide. This is actually responsible for 6% of total greenhouse gas emissions. Third biggest global warming gas, 265 times more powerful than carbon dioxide in trapping heat. Animal manure and synthetic fertilizers is the biggest culprit. Stays in the atmosphere for 114 years. So that is also the detrimental effect of nitrous oxide as a gas in the atmosphere. Next would be ozone. So ozone is a gas that envelopes the Earth at the stratosphere. Triatomic molecule with the formula O3, meaning it has 3 atoms of oxygen. Provides important service to life on Earth as it absorbs harmful ultraviolet radiation. So take note that ozone in the atmosphere is good in our stratosphere layer, since it actually helps to trap the ultraviolet radiation that is harmful to humans and also to other animals. In recent years, levels of stratospheric ozone has been decreasing due to the build-up of human-created chlorofluorocarbons in the atmosphere. Since the late 1970s, scientists have noticed the development of severe holes in the ozone layer over Antarctica. As you can see here, this is the development, no, a diagram or a picture of the hole that is being formed in our stratosphere, specifically in the ozone layer. So it's being enlarged in the year 2000. And in 2019, if you will compare this one to 2017, the hole is actually gradually returning to a close or gradually closing. So it's getting smaller and smaller through time, thanks to the effort also of humans for banning chlorofluorocarbons for industrial use. So this is actually the process why use of chlorofluorocarbons could actually degrade the ozone layer. So let's first discuss this one. At 65 degrees north to 65 degrees south latitude has had a lot of 3% decrease in stratospheric ozone since 1978. Measurement of this gas is currently unavailable because 97% are found concentrated in the stratosphere at an altitude of 15 to 55 kilometers above Earth's surface. At the Earth's surface, in and around the cities, ozone is also highly concentrated as a result of byproduct of human-created photochemical smog, of which its buildup is toxic to almost all organisms living on Earth. So just a reminder, ozone in the ozone layer, specifically in the stratosphere, is good because it helps trapping ultraviolet radiation. But ozone here in our troposphere or ground level ozone are actually harmful and toxic to humans. So in this particular process, we can see here that um, we can actually see here that UV radiation interacts with a CFC or chlorofluorocarbon molecule, stripping off a chlorine atom. If chlorofluorocarbon is a combination of carbon, chlorine, and also chlorine. So this chlorine will actually interact with ozone, O3, as you can see here, the purple molecule is ozone. So the chlorine atom strikes an ozone molecule, resulting in an oxygen molecule and a chlorine monoxide. So you can see here, we split the atom of ozone and we have, or the molecule of ozone, and we have oxygen gas and and also our chlorine monoxide, ClO. A free atom of ozone collides with ClO, so it will actually collide with the ClO, and the two ozone molecules are formed, and the Cl atom is freed to destroy another ozone. So this is actually a spontaneous process, a continuous process, wherein it could be hardly stopped. So therefore, once there is actually HFCs, or CFCs, I mean, in the atmosphere, then it will actually create a hole in the ozone layer since the process is continuous. Again, we have here chlorine from our CFC. This chlorine will attack ozone, the oxygen atom in the ozone, producing your oxygen gas and your ClO. The ClO will be attacked by an oxygen atom, which is actually now free in the atmosphere. And it will produce your oxygen, and chlorine will now be free again. And this chlorine will now strike another ozone, and the process continues. And that's it for our today's video. See you on our next discussion. Thank you.